The Young and the Restless spoilers shock Friday's update June 6, 2025. As the days pass in Genoa City, tensions rise and old conflicts resurface. The stakes are higher than ever, and everyone seems to be vying for control, whether it's in their personal lives, business endeavors, or complicated family dynamics. In the latest developments on The Young and the Restless, Chelsea Lawson is once again making her presence known in Adam Newman's life, while Sally Spectra is furious with Billy Abbott's latest plans. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins find themselves deep in conversation about an intriguing invitation from Aristotle Dumas that could change the course of everything. Chelsea Lawson's struggles with Adam Newman. Chelsea has never been one to back down, especially when it comes to her complicated relationship with Adam. Despite their tumultuous past and her attempts at moving forward, Chelsea finds herself drawn back into the web of Adam's world. This time, she seems more determined than ever to confront him. As the emotional weight of their history hangs in the air, Chelsea can't help but voice her frustrations, especially as Adam seems focused on his own ambitions and family struggles. She's worried about the impact of his decisions, especially when it comes to their son, Connor. Chelsea's protective instincts have always been at the forefront of her actions, and with Connor's future on the line, she isn't about to let Adam off the hook so easily. As she continues to challenge Adam, it's clear that their unresolved issues will come to a head once again. Chelsea's harsh words may cut deep, but Adam's emotional distance and unwavering drive to succeed in business continue to put a strain on their co-parenting relationship. In a world filled with secrets, lies, and power plays, Chelsea's frustrations aren't without cause. But can Adam truly understand her point of view, or will he continue to prioritize his career and complicated relationship with Victor over his responsibilities as a father? Sally Spectra's fury over Billy Abbott's plans. Sally Spectra is a woman who's never been afraid to speak her mind, but she's also someone who can be deeply affected by betrayal. And right now, Billy Abbott's latest plans have her fuming. Sally, who has long been caught between Billy's dual identity as both a charming, caring partner and a manipulative businessman, is fed up with his lack of transparency. She knows that his involvement with Chankcom and his ongoing business dealings are potentially disastrous for her, and for their future together. Billy's determination to push forward with his latest ideas, especially those involving Newman Enterprises and other business strategies, seems to be pushing Sally to the brink. She's worried that his actions will not only hurt his professional reputation but will also drive a wedge between them. Sally knows that Billy's approach to business often comes with significant risks, but the fact that he's not including her in his decisions makes her feel more like a bystander than a partner. The mounting tension between them only deepens as Sally's frustration grows, and the future of their relationship hangs in the balance. As Sally grapples with her emotions, she must decide if she's willing to continue to stand by Billy, or if it's time for her to break free from his shadow and take control of her own future. Can Billy prove to her that their partnership is worth the sacrifices, or will his disregard for her concerns lead to an inevitable breakup? Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins, a honeymoon in jeopardy. Meanwhile, Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins are navigating their own stormy waters. With the news of Aristotle Dumas's invitation hanging over them, Jack and Diane have been forced to confront their next steps. Jack, ever the romantic, wants nothing more than to whisk Diane away for a peaceful honeymoon, and the French Riviera seems like the perfect place to start their new chapter together. But Diane, ever the practical one, can't ignore the implications of Dumas's offer and the possible risks it brings. Jack's attempt to sweep Diane off her feet with plans for a romantic getaway is met with resistance. Diane's hesitation reveals her true concerns. Is this just another power play by Aristotle, or is it a genuine opportunity for the two of them to build a future outside of the chaos of Genoa City? When Jack admits that he's inclined to accept Dumas's invitation, Diane's concerns only deepen. She knows that accepting such a proposal could have far-reaching consequences, both personally and professionally. Jack's intentions are clear. He wants a fresh start with Diane, away from the pressures of their respective families and business dealings. But Diane's response is far more cautious. She suggests altering their travel plans, indicating that she's not ready to simply jump into Dumas's world without considering the potential dangers. As they try to find a balance between romance and responsibility, it's clear that Jack and Diane's relationship is once again at a crossroads. Claire Newman and Kyle Abbott, a family in crisis in a quieter corner of Genoa City. Claire Newman, still reeling from her father Cole Howard's declining health, is grappling with her emotions. Watching her father struggle with his illness has been a heartbreaking experience for her, and she can't help but voice her fears to Kyle Abbott. As Cole's condition worsens, Claire finds herself increasingly helpless, unable to do anything but watch as her father grows weaker. "I hate seeing him like this," Claire confesses to Kyle, her voice thick with emotion. "It scares me to see him so fragile." Kyle, always the supportive figure, tries to reassure her, reminding her that sometimes illnesses can be stubborn and take time to resolve. But Claire's worry is palpable. Her father has always been a strong, protective figure in her life, and seeing him so vulnerable is a stark reminder of how fragile life can be. The conversation takes a more business-oriented turn when Claire mentions that Cole has refused to see a doctor. Kyle, ever the pragmatist, presses Claire on the matter, wondering why her father would avoid seeking medical help. But Claire's frustration only grows as she reveals that Cole has rejected all offers of medical intervention, a decision that only deepens the sense of helplessness surrounding her. The Abbott family enters the picture when Jack and Diane arrive. Claire, recognizing the need to focus on her work, excuses herself, but not before Kyle has a brief, but significant, conversation with his parents. He shares with them his latest move, an offer he's made to Victor Newman. "I hope you haven't made a deal with the devil," Jack responds, his skepticism evident. Kyle insists that his intentions are pure and that if Victor accepts his proposal, he'll be the one making the final decisions. As the Abbott family continues to navigate the intricacies of their personal and professional lives, the tension between Kyle's aspirations and Jack's mistrust grows. Will Kyle's bold moves pay off, or will they lead him down a path of betrayal, further straining his relationship with his family? Only time will tell. The complex web of alliances in Genoa City, the web of relationships, business dealings, and personal motivations is constantly shifting. With new opportunities and threats emerging from unexpected sources, the characters must navigate treacherous waters to protect themselves, their loved ones, and their legacies. The looming presence of Aristotle Dumas, combined with the drama surrounding Chelsea and Adam, Sally and Billy, and the ongoing struggles of the Abbott family, promises to create a turbulent storm for everyone involved. As the stakes grow higher, alliances will be tested, relationships will be strained, and unexpected twists will continue to keep fans on the edge of their seats. Will Jack and Diane's romantic escape be the escape they need, or will Dumas's influence pull them back into the chaos? Can Sally and Billy find common ground, or will their differences drive them apart? And will Cole Howard's health continue to deteriorate, or will Claire find a way to help him before it's too late? The answers are coming, but in Genoa City, nothing is ever as it seems. At Crimson Lights, the morning air is filled with the usual buzz of customers coming and going, but today, the atmosphere is charged with tension. Billy Abbott, ever the provocative figure in Genoa City, takes a seat at the counter and greets Chelsea with a casual good morning, his usual grin plastered on his face. But the warmth of the greeting is undercut by the sense that there's something more simmering beneath the surface. As he settles into the chair next to Chelsea, his gaze shifts to Adam Newman, who is sitting nearby, and a sharp edge to his voice emerges as he turns to Adam. "I'm still waiting for the avalanche of bad press to hit," Billy says, his words dripping with sarcasm. His eyes never leave Adam, and the tension between the two is palpable, the kind of tension that only years of rivalry and history can create. Adam, unfazed by Billy's comment, calmly responds, his voice cold but controlled. "Newman Media is fine," Adam says, his tone deliberate, brushing off Billy's provocation. "I don't need to be smeared by you to stay in control." But Billy's response is quick, almost as if he's expecting Adam to say that, and he doesn't let the moment slip by without a challenge. "It might be fine for now, But that doesn't mean it won't happen, he retorts. His eyes narrow slightly, his mind already thinking several steps ahead. You know what they say, timing is everything. Adam raises an eyebrow at Billy's insinuation but doesn't flinch. Maybe you should prepare yourself. You never know when the right time for a scandal will come. His words are laced with the kind of threat that only someone like Adam would throw out, testing Billy, almost daring him to make a move. So, when is the right moment to cause the most damage? Adam adds, knowing full well that a strategically timed scandal could have a devastating impact on the Newman family. Chelsea, who has been silently listening, shifts uncomfortably in her seat, her eyes flickering with frustration. She's been caught in the middle of these two men for far too long, and she's had enough of their passive-aggressive barbs. She shoots Adam a look, her voice dripping with annoyance as she turns to him. Please tell me you didn't mean what you said about waiting for the right time to go after Billy, Chelsea says, her tone harsh and pointed. It's clear she's upset. Not just by the games Adam is playing, but by the fact that she's now forced to address them in front of Billy. Adam sighs, sensing the shift in the conversation, but he's not one to back down from a challenge. I was just messing with Billy, he explains, giving Chelsea a half-hearted smile that doesn't reach his eyes. But I'm still planning on creating a scandal to distract my father, just not in the way Billy thinks. Chelsea is not convinced. Her eyes narrow, and she stares at Adam, knowing full well that his plan isn't as innocent as he's making it seem. But before she can voice her concerns, Billy jumps back into the conversation, eager to provoke Adam once again. The tension between them builds, the war of words escalating with each passing moment. Chelsea, frustrated by the back and forth, rolls her eyes and turns her attention to a new arrival at the cafe. Just as the exchange threatens to reach its boiling point, Sally Spectra enters the scene. She immediately notices the charged atmosphere between Adam and Billy and senses that something is off. Her gaze flicks from one man to the other, and she doesn't need to hear the specifics to know that this is just another round in their ongoing feud. With a sigh, Sally moves toward the counter, standing tall and confident as always. She's learned to navigate the complex world of the young and the restless, and right now, she can feel the weight of the tension in the air. Her gaze lingers on Adam for a moment before she directs her attention to Chelsea. Chelsea doesn't waste a second. She turns to Adam, her frustration still visible on her face. Please tell me you didn't mean what you said, she says again, her voice firm but tinged with a hint of desperation. About waiting for the right time to go after Billy. Adam, always the calm and collected strategist, meets her gaze with an almost indifferent expression. I was only teasing Billy, he assures her, though there's a glint in his eyes that suggests he's not entirely joking. But yes, I'm still planning on creating a diversion, one that'll grab my father's attention away from Billy and his games. Chelsea crosses her arms, clearly unimpressed by Adam's response. But before she can voice her concerns further, Adam's words shift toward a new, more intriguing development. In fact, he continues, leaning in slightly as he drops a bombshell, Dumas has invited us all to his castle in France. The mention of Aristotle Dumas immediately piques Chelsea's interest. She leans forward, eager to know more. What do we need to prepare for, she asks, her curiosity getting the better of her. Adam's reply is almost dismissive as he shrugs. We're not on the guest list, he reveals with a hint of bitterness in his voice. It's a slap in the face. Everyone else in the Newman family got invited, except for me. Chelsea's eyes widen in surprise. She hadn't expected that. For Adam, who had always considered himself a central figure in the Newman family's power structure, to be excluded from such an important invitation is a significant blow. But Adam, ever the determined and ambitious figure, isn't ready to simply accept this slight. But I'm going to make sure I get my father's focus on Dumas, instead of letting Billy stir up trouble, he adds with determination. Chelsea can sense Adam's frustration, but she also understands that his desire for control and power won't let him sit idly by. As much as she's trying to protect him from his own worst instincts, she knows that Adam is not one to let an opportunity slip away. The question now is, how far is he willing to go to get his father's attention? And what price will he pay for trying to manipulate the situation to his advantage? As the conversation continues, it's clear that the dynamics between Adam, Chelsea, Billy, and the rest of the Newman family are shifting. With Aristotle Dumas pulling the strings in the background, the possibility of new alliances and new betrayals loom on the horizon. Will Adam's plan to create a scandal succeed, or will it backfire in ways he never expected? And as for Billy, will he continue to be a thorn in Adam's side, or will he find a way to shift the balance of power in his own favor? One thing is certain, the drama in Genoa City is only just beginning. Outside on the porch, Billy Abbott stands with Sally Spectra, the warm breeze of the afternoon air barely cutting through the tension that surrounds their conversation. His gaze is distant, almost like he's weighing the implications of the news he's about to share, knowing that it might shift everything. Finally, he looks at Sally, his voice low but carrying the gravity of what he's just been told. "I've been invited to Dumas's summer villa in Nice," Billy says, his words hanging in the air. The mention of Aristotle Dumas, one of the most enigmatic and powerful figures in Genoa City, immediately catches Sally's attention. Billy's calm delivery contrasts with the subtle sense of urgency in his eyes. He continues, "A lot of the elite in Genoa City got invitations too." "It's a big deal, Sally." Sally's expression tightens, and her concern deepens as she processes the situation. "You're going?" she asks, her tone carrying a hint of worry. She's always been cautious about getting wrapped up in high-stakes business dealings, and the invitation to a private gathering with someone like Dumas isn't just an opportunity. It's a risk. Billy's grin remains in place, though it's more strained now. "I have to go," he answers, his voice resolute. "I need to see what Dumas is really about. Find out what he's planning." Sally crosses her arms, her concern now turning to frustration. "Abbott Communications is going to need our focus more than ever from here on out," she points out, her voice firm. They both know that the success of the company is delicate at this moment, and any distraction could jeopardize everything they've worked for. Billy shrugs slightly, unfazed by her concern. "We'll be fine," he says, though there's a quiet resolve in his words that speaks volumes about his ambitions. "I'll just have to manage things remotely. Besides, it's not just about business. It's about figuring out what Dumas is really up to. We can't afford to ignore him." Sally's mind races, trying to find a balance between supporting Billy and protecting the interests of Abbott Communications. "Jack and Diane are going to Europe anyway," she says, offering a solution. "Let them handle it. They can look into Dumas for us." Billy shakes his head. "I'm not letting them take the lead on this," he says, more firmly now. "We need to be the ones in control, Sally. If we sit back now, we'll lose the opportunity to understand Dumas's true intentions." Sally's frustration peaks, and she can't hold back her pointed response. "Delaying everything just to cater to your curiosity makes us look weak, Billy," she counters, her tone sharp. "We'll look unprofessional if we pull back now." Billy's eyes narrow, but he holds her gaze. "I think postponing the launch for a month is the right move," he says, confident in his decision. "It'll give us time to handle things properly. And there's a reward." He lets the words linger for a moment before adding, "I'll take you with me to Nice." Sally's eyes flicker with a mix of surprise and hesitation. The promise of an adventure to the French Riviera might sound appealing, but she knows it comes at a cost. "Nice," she repeats, her voice quieter now, trying to balance the temptation with her practical instincts. She knows that this move, while glamorous, might not be the best for the business. But the opportunity to travel with Billy, to be closer to the powerful forces at play, is something she can't entirely dismiss. Before she can respond, her mind working through the possible consequences of this decision, the conversation shifts back to their professional lives, where the stakes are just as high. A discussion between Nick and Phyllis at society meanwhile, Inside society, the sophisticated restaurant where Genoa City's elite often gather, Nick Newman and Phyllis Summers are deep in conversation. Over their coffee, the topic turns to their daughter's love life, with both of them trying to understand how to best support Summer in the midst of her new romance. Nick, though outwardly calm, is clearly concerned. "I think I should go meet him," he admits, his voice full of the mixed emotions that come with seeing his daughter in a serious relationship for the first time in a while. Phyllis's eyes narrow as she turns to Nick, clearly more focused on something else. "If I were you, I'd go see him too," she says, her words carrying a weight of experience. "But you're going to Europe again?" she asks, a hint of annoyance slipping through her usual composure. "Why do you keep going back to Dumas's turf, Nick?" Nick sighs, leaning back in his seat. "I was invited to Dumas's place in Nice," he says simply. "He's been making waves, and I need to see what he's really about. He's not someone we can ignore."